I love being able to share these different kinds of experiences so that people know there's not one way of doing things, especially with energy. I know Nick, after sharing his path, I mean, again, mine, it was interesting. So even though I definitely learned about different things with energy, and then I thought I was, I kept trying to bring it into my life, and I kept trying to do it right. Everybody have this right and wrong. It was like, and it was frustrating because things weren't changing. I thought that once you learn, these things like law of attraction and all that, that somehow at some point you would float on a cloud above life's problems. I mean, right? Come on, that's what I thought. So, yeah. And that didn't really happen. And so then I was like, I must be doing it wrong. So that was an interesting journey. But the funny thing is that I did work with energy. So I could feel when things were heavy or when they were lighter, and I used that in business. And I had always done business from a heart-centered space, because I had learned that the energy was the most important thing for creating a business. And so I actually used that all the time, but I didn't really realize I hadn't actually done it. I kind of intentionally did it, but I knew I was doing it, but I hadn't labeled it, I guess is what I'm saying. I didn't label it energy work. I wouldn't have considered myself, energy work or anything like that. That would have been like, no, and but I did work, and I knew the difference. And I had even recognized at one point when I worked so hard, and then I remember trying to meet a goal by the end of the year, and then I started working harder, and it was just like harder, faster, and I realized at the end of that period that even though I had met my goal, it was at such an expense, and I knew intuitively, it clicked in my head that I actually had worked against myself by working so hard, which in my mind at the time was totally not, it was always you work harder to do business, you got to work harder to get the results. But here I'd worked harder and harder, and I knew that I had created a heavy energy that actually worked against me. And so I decided at that point, I thought, okay, I'm never going to do that again, even in business. Then I thought, no, now I'm not saying that I didn't, because I did it here and there, but I caught myself when I did the next, because I could feel it.
Being aware.
Yes,
that's part of the healing.
That's right. Well, and I think actually that's part of integration, wouldn't you say?
Yes, that's part. Yes, you're exactly right.
Yeah, and that's why we thought it'd be kind of cool to have these conversations, hopefully with a even larger community. If you have any thoughts, please put them down below, is because we all have different experiences, and it's kind of becoming aware of these different aspects that help you recognize when you're in the moment. When we talk about integration, in the moment that we go, oh my gosh, actually, hold on, how does this feel right now? This doesn't feel right. Can I change it? And most of the time you can change it. You just actually have to be aware enough, right?
Right.
So.
And there's a lot of people, this is what I'm finding, there's a lot of people that are walking down these roads, this journey, and they are like, what's going on? Who can I talk to? Because when you start making this shift, it's like the people who you used to be able to talk to are not vibrating typically at your level, and so they have a hard time understanding what it is you're going through. And so it becomes difficult, because most times you're like almost skeptical to say anything, because it's like, how will I be perceived? Still dealing with the old paradigm, which is kind of hard to break from. It takes an awareness, and it takes time. But when you start finding you're going down this road, you start finding your family show up. Family being soul family. All of a sudden, they show up. And it's like God in the universe says, okay, now is the time. This person is going to be an influence in your life. It may not be for a short minute, it may be for a long minute, but it's there to give that lending hand to help you to get to the next part of this journey, which she's freaking awesome. This shop is the energy in the shop that they created is like, it's crazy. It's crazy good. And
I like it.
so,
But I have to say, I mean, I am so grateful for, you know, it's funny, my words want to say, but I know it's not really the truth, is just, my words want to say like stumbling upon this energy stuff, because that's how it felt, but it wasn't. It was always there. It's always there, obviously. It's who we are. And I guess it's uncovering, I think, is probably more what I want to say. It's like all these layers, and so I've been really intensely studying, you know, energy and vibrations and things like that now for several years, and I really
and you seek it out too, not just through books, but seeking it out by other people, whether they're healers, readers, and they give a little influence of what they're doing, which helps you.
Yes.
Helps us, each person.
Yeah. And that's the whole thing, is like, you know, as much as there's all these different areas that helped along the way, and that's the whole thing, is if you can open up to it, I think it's a journey maybe of integration, because wherever you are, you're going to get that little, if you're open to it, you'll recognize it, but you get those little, it's a person, you know, or it's a book, or it's something else, or it's a, you know, a flash of insight in the shower or something, you know. It's like you get these little things given to you, and it helps you kind of get past whatever it is, you know. Again, I was telling Nick the other day, we were talking about some things, and I kind of come to look at it more like, instead of back when I first started getting into energy work, I kind of looked at it in my old paradigm, which is a control, power down, hierarchy type thing, which is what I grew up in. I looked at it like, oh, you know, some people are more advanced than others, or more evolved or enlightened, and I'm not saying maybe that's not true, but the way I look at it now is that we are all the same light. I mean, we're all one.
Same energy.
Yeah, which was a hard thing for me to get around,
my
brain around, when I first got into this, and I was like, how does that even work? I felt, you know, separateness is a big thing with me, that I'm one of my hurdles. So that concept, and so I'm thinking, you know,
and not being worthy.
Well, I mean, that's for everybody, right?
Yeah, but that's a tough one. I'm not good enough to be that.
Yeah.
I didn't. Where's my college degree? Where's my certificate of all this? But it's not necessarily that. It's something that has always been there in us, that all of a sudden comes to the surface, and it's like, oh, where did this come from?
Yeah.
But it's fluid. It just happens.
Yeah. And I feel like now I look at it like, we all are this light. We're all one, so it's all the same light. That's where we came from. And so if you can realize that whatever you're dealing with, whatever block you are, it's just an energy. And sometimes saying that, it's funny, you know, because I think, oh, just energy, then I just got to power through. I got to do it better. I must not be doing it right if I'm in the heavy energy. No. There are different ways to kind of get through that, right? Wouldn't you say? And so I've had different people or different tools or different things help me at different times get through heavy energies, you know, which I've been blessed now the last year. I mean, I've never ever, I don't think, been around healers in person. There's people that I follow online that I love and have helped me a lot, but now this last year, you know, I get to be around, I've been around several healers who have helped me at different points. And the funny thing is, I was saying, you know, to Nick, when we talk about, have these conversations, sometimes we'll talk and he'll say something. Of course, Nick's magic. He just is. And he'll say something, and all of a sudden I'll realize, oh, that's that thing I've been dealing with. I've been trying to figure out, or I'm stuck here in this last week or whatever, and I can't figure it out on my own, so I have to let go of the whole analyzation thing, right? And let the answers come. And the answers come in a lot of ways, and sometimes, again, through people, or but I love it when you know, energy healers are one of the many ways, I think, to help you experience what you don't already know, so that you can kind of know what you're going towards. Does that make sense?
It does. But again, I believe, as Amy does, we're all created the same. And so these things are all in us already. It's just a matter of becoming aware of. And once you start realizing that some of the things that we're trained to do here are not necessarily as important as we're led to believe they are. Yes, we got to pay the bills. Yes, we got to do the work. We got to do things, but it shouldn't be like we're chasing this stuff down. There's other things in life that are just very important to me now. And this that I'm going through, this energy phase, this energy life change is where I know I need to be. And so to be an effect on everybody else, I have to be true to me. And so it's Amy's got a gift that she is yet to come into herself with the energy healing, because she has it and she's not yet let it out. And there's a lot of people that are right now, we're at a point, I believe, in this planet that it's a healing time. And so healers are going to come out of the woodwork. It's like all of a sudden, light workers are going to come up, and it's going to be like everybody's here to help raise the vibration of this planet. And so this is the beginning steps.